Happy Wednesday, everybody. Good day to you. We're going to continue our journey through the book of 1 John. In today's passage, we're going to look at our loves, which is central to what it means to be a Christian. Your loves, what are you loving and chasing? And we're also going to see a couple contrasts here. A couple days ago, we saw the contrast between loving your brother and hating your brother. We've seen the contrast of light and dark. There's contrast all the way through the book. And here we're going to see a couple more. So let me read these two verses. This is 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 through 17. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. So right away, we see the first contrast, the love of the world versus the love of the Father. And particularly, that's the love of us for the Father. So is our loves directed toward the world or directed toward the Father? And then John goes on to describe the love of the world a little bit, the things of the world, the things that we see with our eyes, the things that we're coveting that we don't currently have, and then the pride of life, the things that we currently do have. And something that binds all that together is this inward bent of looking back upon ourselves, being concerned about what we have, what we don't have, and then the pride that can well up there, and which is really us loving ourselves really well, and actually in an unhealthy way, versus a love for God, which looks quite a bit different. In this season of COVID-19, this is something I've been convicted of quite a bit. I have noticed me starting to bend back in on myself to take care of finances or positioning myself in other ways to take care of myself. Now, there's certainly some wisdom there, but I think there's a line that I often go across, and whether it's greed or just self-centeredness or really just a love for myself rather than a generosity or a love for things that God has said that is representative of his people. And that has been lacking in my life a bit the last couple of weeks with all these changes and all this uncertainty. And that very last line in our passage today, John writes that the world's passing away along with all its desires, and whoever does the will of God abides forever. Here's that last contrast, that these loves for just myself, the loves of the world, they're going to be gone. But whoever does the will of God, which is really interesting here, that John again connects a love for God with doing the will for God, that where our loves are should be evidence in how we live, that will actually abide forever. So passing away versus abiding forever. So let me encourage you, one way to encourage you, as you experience all the different uncertainties and all the different feelings that you have about COVID-19, feel them, but feel them in view of who our God is, our unchanging God. And view in a way of being open-handed with what God may be wanting to do in us and through us and affecting our loves, particularly in this time of intense formation. So let me encourage you in that way. As you sense yourself start to bend back in upon yourself, pray and ask that God, by his grace, would help you to unbend in a sense and be open-handed again with what God wants us to do and be in this time.